Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Warrior Wednesday. I'm excited about this practice this morning. I've been playing with a couple of new and different ideas to share with you. And the focus today is on untying the knots. Untying the knots. So I want to start with a visual, and I was going to remember one of my puppy's tug toys and I forgot. So you're going to have to imagine a rope tied in a knot in the middle. And you don't have to be a Boy Scout to know that when you pull on a knot, it gets tighter, right? You ever try to untangle chain like jewelry? And the more you tug, the tighter and messier it gets. So I want you to just reflect on that as we go into some of these yoga postures and how we tend to do the same thing in yoga. We push ourselves into these poses, kind of force. We think if we force, it's going to loosen things up. But what is in fact happening is we're tightening knots with all of that forcing. So if you tried to loosen a knot, you'd want to give it some slack, right? And then you're just going to start peeling and peeling and peeling when that knot is not under tension. So we'll do that today with opposing muscles. If we want to try to loosen up the chest, we're going to slacken it first, right? So that we can kind of find some looseness before we try to go into that opening stretch. So just kind of keep that in mind as a visual. Let's start with our hips on either the floor or a cushion or a block, something that feels like it supports you well. And take a comfortable seat, sit tall. Shoulders can roll up, back, and down. In fact, let's do that a few times. Let's find the first obvious knots of tension, probably around the neck and the shoulders. And then just go ahead and rest your hands on your lap. You can close your eyes or just soften your gaze down. We're going to do a breathing practice using our hands. So on the inhale, I want you to just open your hands and then squeeze your hands really tight. Hold your hands in a fist. Inhale. And now exhale as you open. Inhale, squeeze tight little knots with the hands. And then exhale, just let your hands open. You can rest your hands down on your legs. We'll do that 3 more times. Inhale, squeeze tight, tight fists. Exhale, open. As you do that 2 more times, see if you can feel that sensation anywhere else in your body, a place that's squeezing and holding. And then just exhale, soften. 1 more time, squeeze. Beautiful. Just let your hands rest here on your legs in any way. And let's drop one ear to one shoulder. You can choose whichever shoulder you want to drop your ear to. And then the opposite hand reaches down to the floor. Let the opposite arm be long. And then if you'd like, you can bring a hand here to the side of the head, just using the weight of the arm to create weight and space in that neck side. And then just imagine a tiny little fist inside of your neck muscles. And as you inhale, it squeezes tight. And as you exhale, that little hand just opens and releases. Do that 2 more times. Use that visual of a knot just softening. 1 more time. Now, before we move from this position, release your hand and notice that this side of the neck, the bent side, is slackened, right? It's a little bit softer and looser. So we're going to use our hand to press the head back to center. And I want you to just notice if anything different happens on the second side. So ease into the stretch from the side that has been slackened and just see if there's any loosening there. The fingers can reach down to the floor. And if you like, add just gentle weight with your hand. And again, we'll use that same visual. Inhale to squeeze like a tiny little fist in there, holding those muscles. And as you exhale, the hand opens, the neck softens a little. Deep breaths. And then one more time. We'll leave the head where it is, release the hand. Use your fingers to press your head up so the neck doesn't have to make the effort. And then with your eyes closed, just slowly rotate your head on its axis, turning side to side, and just notice left and right. And see if you can tell where you store your little knots of tension. We all carry a lot here in our neck and our shoulders. And then come back to center. Sweep your arms up high. Reach as high as you can toward the sky. And then let your hands come right down through heart center. And we'll do that 2 more times with breath, just finding looseness around the shoulders. Good, beautiful. One more time, reach high. And as we exhale, bring your hands to heart center. We're gonna wrap the arms around us like we're giving ourselves a hug. You can choose which arm goes on top. And then just give yourself a tiny massage on the back. Use your fingers to dig into whatever soft areas you can find up and down your shoulder blades. Just loosening and slackening around the shoulders. Allow your chin to drop to your chest. See if you can find something even more interesting there. And then we're going to move with breath. Inhale to lift your elbows. Notice if there's any point of pain, and you're just going to stop there. And then exhale, drop your elbows, drop your chin round your spine. And do that a couple more times, moving with your breath. Lift your shoulders, lift your chin, and then tuck your chin lower and round. And we'll go one more time. And as we get into this rounded position, use the weight of your fingers and your arms to kind of tug down on your shoulders, like someone's giving you a little weighted assist here. And then just notice that the muscles of your chest now are slackened, are loosened. And so we're just going to go there. So peeling open is, remember which arm's on top, because we're going to cross again. So whichever arm's on top, we're going to peel open, slowly finding expansion, and just pause right here. Pause with your palms toward the ceiling, your chest lifted, maybe your shoulder blades squeezing onto your back. Breathe into that front body. And then just let your arms come down. They're going to stay back, but just let them come down slowly, feeling that across the chest. Nice. And then roll your shoulders. If you're sitting cross-legged, put the other leg in front. If you're sitting in a kneeling position, maybe just switch up a little bit. Now let's cross again, opposite arm on top. And it's probably the awkward way. If you forgot, don't go your natural way. Give yourself that little massage. And then let's begin some movement with breath. Inhale to lift. Come up as high as you can, and then slowly fold forward. Taking your time and using the full range of motion, movement with breath. And the next time we come down, let's hold here again, letting the weight of our arms and gravity help us stretch through the back. And just feel the muscles of the chest slackened, softened. Breathe out, maybe even audibly here. Long exhale. And then coming back to neutral again, let's peel that open. Arms reach wide, chest expands, thumbs to the sky. And now just slide your hands up and down, maybe like a 6 or 8 inch lift and lower. Hands back as far as they will go. We're just asking instead of forcing. Today we're asking permission. When the hands come down, let the fingertips come to the floor behind you like little tents, little fingertip tents, and then pull your chest all the way through and forward. And just lift and breathe and lengthen. And just notice what's here. And then we're going to bring ourselves around into an all fours position and come back into child's pose. And in child's pose, friends, go ahead and let your knees be wide. Let your big toes touch. Stretch your arms out in front of you. Allow yourself a loud and long exhale here. Shifting up to a tabletop position, you can keep your knees where they are or bring them in a little closer. We're going to put some movement around the shoulders and hips. So just shifting forward into a kneeling plank and back to child. And we'll do this to just warm up for our next unraveling posture. So come forward as far as you can, maybe even a little bit of a back bend here, and then back to your heels. Movement with breath. And as we come back to a tabletop position, here's a place where you might want to use a block underneath your forehead. We're moving into puppy pose. So in puppy pose, we want to keep the knees under the hips. It's like child's pose with the hips elevated. And we'll start to walk our hands farther forward. And you might pause first with your head on something, on any level of the block, because this can be a very intense shoulder stretch. And we'll be here for a while, so make sure that you can get into a position where you're supported and comfortably uncomfortable. If you're getting a green light and this seems like a good idea to go farther, you could move the block and start to explore head to ground. And so that's going to place your head a little lower than your arms. If you're more flexible through the shoulders, maybe chin to the floor. Or even chest. Where can you find an edge that is comfortably uncomfortable? Where can you find an edge that you can engage with, hang out with, breathe into? And as the muscles in the front are lengthening, the muscles in the back are slackening. See if you can just kind of hammock your torso down a little bit and breathe. Awareness focused in here, inside of the body, what's happening now. Another deep breath in. And as you exhale, you can start to press your hands back, let your elbows come to the earth. It's kind of a nice exit, and then back to hands. Wiggle around a little bit through the hips. And then let's tuck our toes and lift into downward facing dog. The knees can be really bent here. We haven't done much for the hamstrings yet, so go slowly into the back of your body. Deep breath in, audible exhale. And let's take a slow walk forward, coming to forward fold. Knees bent, and now we'll allow the arms to come behind us. You can rest your arms on your back or interlace your fingers. Take a counter pose for the shoulders. So now the upper back is working a little bit. Relax your neck, relax your shoulders. Deep, slow breaths. As we release our hands to the earth, let's press halfway up and down, and we'll put a little more movement with breath. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. We'll do that a few times, just pressing, asking permission of the hamstrings. With knees bent, let's reach the arms all the way up high, extended mountain. When you get as tall as you can, reach even taller still. And then again, let's slowly open our arms out to the sides. Perfect. Tadasana, mountain pose. With your right foot forward, step your left foot straight back and just come into a little lunging position. Right foot forward, left leg back. You're going to bring your left arm straight out in front of you and then pull it across the body. We'll use the right hand as kind of a little pull. We'll assist to just press above the elbow. Shoulder rolls down. Breathe into this lunge with a shoulder stretch. Nice. Release that arm. Let the hand float up toward the sky. Pat yourself on the back. And then use the right hand again to just gently pull that elbow in close to the ear. Elbow lifts high. Breathe deeply into this space and stretch. And then we'll just slowly peel the arms open, coming all the way down to the floor for a twist. So go ahead and lower your hands. You can drop the back knee or keep it lifted, your choice. Let's see, which way do I want to go? And then when you get there, the left arm is going to circle. I'm going to bring it all the way up and around 3 times. Shoulder mobility. And when you reach this top, the next time, let's pause in our twist. Your bottom hand can be on a block if that feels better. Nice. We'll release that hand down to the mat. Step your back foot to meet your front foot. We'll bend and straighten the knees a few times, just loosening up again. Movement with breath. Just think of loosening knots around your hamstrings, your hips, your low back. And this time, let's keep our left foot where it is and step the right foot back into a lunge. Take a moment to find balance. Nice. Right arm reaches forward, and then pull that right arm across your body. Use your left hand to just hold that arm. Drop the shoulder down. Good, and breathe. Let your breath expand this posture, especially around the shoulders. Beautiful, everybody. Release the hand. Allow the arm to come up overhead. Pat yourself on the back for being here today for yourself. The left hand adds a little pull, stretching around shoulder, chest, belly, and hip. And as we release our hands to the floor, moving into twist, this time the left arm circles around 3 times, exploring. And when we've done 3 circles, let's reach the hand up toward the sky, finding a twist, that back knee either on or off the mat. Twisting lunge. Good, and then just release that hand to the mat. Step back into downward facing dog. And now an invitation, if you'd like, you can stay here or move slowly through a vinyasa. And slowly, as if this were another way to just loosen up some tension, not forcing, but rather allowing or inviting our bodies to soften. Let's bring our right foot between our thumbs, and we'll drop our back knee. Move around there a little bit, kind of see what you find in your hips, that soft exploring movement. And then we'll bring our hands to the inside of our right foot, and we'll start to drop that knee out and in. So the hands are just pressing to the floor and the knee opens and closes, like we're loosening up knots around our right hip. And then I invite you to find a place that feels interesting to you, either with the knee open or more upright. You have the option to stay on your hands or to drop an elbow. This is another great place for a block. Let's be here taking deep breaths into the hips, the groin, the low back. Where you feel tightness, just picture those tiny little fists just squeezing and relaxing inside of you, muscles slightly tensing and then releasing. Long, slow exhales. And let's bring ourselves back up to a kneeling lunge, stacking the knee over the ankle. We'll tuck our back toes, lifting the knee. And then let's drop that back heel, coming up into warrior one. In warrior one, the right leg is forward. Let's open the arms out into a T, and the right arm crosses under the left, eagle arms. Right arm under, left arm over. If this doesn't feel good to you, go ahead and do that hug that we started with today. Let's inhale to lift. I want you to just lift as high as you can. On the exhale, squeeze your armpits, elbows to chest, and then fold forward as far as you can. So we're going to see how much range of motion we have here. Inhale, back bend, elbows lift high. Exhale, squeeze the armpits first, and then fold forward. So much happening here. Squeezing, slackening, softening, and opening. Maybe take your mind off the muscles for a moment and just allow yourself to just observe this movement, this flow with breath. Body just receiving so much goodness here. And we'll come up one more time. And just peel your arms out to the sides, open, that wingspan broad. Take a gentle twist toward your right side, back to center, twist toward the right, back to center, and right one more time. And then let's bring the arms overhead. Stretch as tall as you can. And when you're ready, release your hands to the mat, downward facing dog. And we'll shake that left leg out. Give it a nice big shake. Or sorry, right leg out. I'm so backwards today, aren't I? Is that your right leg? Yep. Okay, good. So now we will pull our left foot through between our thumbs. Left foot to the top of the mat and drop your back knee. I'm getting confused because I usually face sideways and have it all figured out, but today I'm facing you and now I'm 7 kinds of backwards. So wiggle around a little bit, find your hips, find the knots. And then the hands come inside the foot and let's begin exploring this left hip. In and out. In and out. You might just close your eyes and feel more than see. Feel what's happening here. And then you're just going to find a place that seems really interesting to hang out. You can be on your hands or down to one elbow or two, maybe a block. You can rest your head on your hands or a block. And just be here, finding an edge in your hips. And if this edge is painful, it's going to force you out before you get the whole benefit. So I invite you to stay back away from that sharp pain edge and find an interesting edge that feels like unraveling, that allows you to stay and be patient with the process of unraveling. Notice wiggling and fidgeting and just see if you can find a quieter way to be at this edge with your hips. Odd perhaps, frustrating perhaps, but therapeutic and beneficial. Let's begin to come back up to the hands. The knee comes in. We'll tuck our back toes under, dropping the heel, and just come up into a warrior one with your left leg forward. I'm pretty sure I got that right this time. Left leg forward. And then the arms open out, eagle arms, left arm under the right. You can wrap or you can give yourself a big hug. So this eagle pose is really about squeezing and compression in the joints. Let's start by inhaling, elbows lift, spine bends, head turns up. And on the exhale, first squeeze your armpits, stimulate your lymph nodes, and then fold forward all the way down. Start to move with breath. As you're moving, just be aware of what's happening, this inner working of this body moving in this unusual fashion, stimulating our immune system, our lymphatic system by squeezing the armpits and squeezing at the groin. We're allowing lymph to flow more freely through our system, carrying with it toxins, allowing us to be looser, more open, and more healthy. Let's go one more time up. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, float your arms open. Inhale, twist to the left. Exhale, back to center. Inhale, left. Exhale, center. One more time, left. And center. Put your hands on this front leg and just use this as a way to step to the top of your mat and shake out both of your legs. So I'm going to offer us another variation of that puppy pose. I didn't prepare you for this, but if you do have either a chair or a wall nearby, you can use that. If not, you're just going to use downward facing dog. So I'm just going to grab the edge of a chair and really the edge of a desk, the edge of a table, anything you have around you so that you can come into an L shape, which is a lot like what we did in puppy pose. But now we have even more ability to open and stretch down. Yeah, good. So hands can be, even the wall is really helpful, a table. You're welcome to come back to puppy if you like, but just allow your chest to sink down, your arms to extend. And then let's kind of seaweed, kind of float in and out of this. So inhale, open your shoulders, pull back away from your object. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, pull back away, shoulders open. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, open. Just continue this exploration around these parts of our bodies that get so tight and knotted up. Asking permission rather than forcing. Let's go one more time with a rounded back, pulling away, and then allow yourself to sink in again, chest expanded, arms stretched, head heavy. Exhale long. And then just start to unfold slowly. Come back up. And take a moment to just pause right there in mountain pose. Just pause to feel the effects of that action. Eyes closed, feet planted, arms just limp and loose at your sides. Breath traveling through the whole body. Awareness here and now. All of your attention right here on your beautiful body, your healthy self, here and now. Arms float high, reach to the sky. Swan dive with bent knees, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. And just see if anything has shifted since the first downward facing dog of the day. You're welcome to be here as long as you like. When you feel ready, just lower your knees to the ground and come into child's pose. In child's pose, thread the needle. So reach your right arm underneath your left shoulder, a way to get into the back of that shoulder. And this is going to prepare us for a very deep shoulder stretch called, not surprisingly, knot pose. So as we move in that direction, this will be the alternative if knot pose is not for you. And then just switch sides. Left arm goes under the right, coming on to the back of your left shoulder. A place where you can feel breath deeply in the back of your shoulder blades. Come out of this posture and begin to draw yourself down onto the floor and into Sphinx pose. Sphinx pose, we're going to be on our elbows. And this is the place where you might want a block or something that can be under your head. Just have that out in front of you. So we will take our left arm first underneath the right. So just like we did before it, but now the right arm will cross in front of the left. So for a lot of people, this is a place to stay. There's already some pretty good sensation here. To make this a little more interesting, you can tuck your toes and start to wiggle your hips and your body forward. Drop your head down. Your head can rest on a block or down on the floor in front of you. This is intentionally a very uncomfortable posture. Can you find an edge that's interesting, maybe a little challenging? Can you breathe deeply here into this sensation? Allow gravity to hold you here as you imagine knots unfurling inside of you with each breath. The back of our body represents our past. And this is tapping into the back of our heart. So here we find old heartbreak, old pain, old grievances. This is where a lot of things can get stuck. And so today we're just offering the possibility of one little knot getting a little looser. Take one more deep breath here. And as you exhale, just lift your head And this is my favorite part of this. We're going to roll onto our left shoulder and then just keep rolling onto your left shoulder and flop onto your back. Like let yourself just be on the floor, arms wide open, legs wide. Just noticing now a chest more relaxed. Maybe a heart a little softer. Deep breath in, full breath out. And then if you just bend one knee and press the foot to the floor, that will allow you to roll back onto your belly. And yes, we do need to do it again. 2 sides. Ooh, that's intense, huh? So Sphinx pose. This time the right arm goes under and the left arm goes over. Britt, is that right? Okay, good. All right, so then whatever you had in front of you, if anything, you can start to use that as you inch forward and lower down. Same thing here, body weight and gravity, breath and sensation. You might visualize on the inhale those little hands squeezing tight around your back. And as you exhale, they lose their grip, the hands open peacefully, gently, like a petal on a flower. Inhale to notice the tightness, and then exhale to notice the softness. A heart forgiving, a heart releasing, a heart opening. Just being patient here with ourselves and with the process. Let's take one more deep breath in. And on the exhale, begin to lift your head, and this time we'll roll to the right. So roll onto your right shoulder, just let that left arm flop open. Find that position on the floor with bodies extended. Gravity holding you here on the earth. And then just bend your left knee, let that foot press you back around to the front. Let's bring our hands to our shoulders here and just come up nice and easy. Find a seat again, either on your knees or down on your hips, floor. And just relax and roll your shoulders. They've been through a lot of different motions here. Just find a little softness around shoulders. Maybe let can reach back and forward just a little bit, just weightlessly dangling there at your sides. And then roll your hands open and close, just rotation in the shoulder joint. And just kind of see what's here. Let's take a deep breath in, arms high. You can interlace your hands or just come together in prayer. Steeple your fingers, lift tall. Find a side body length that really feels expansive. Tick-tock side to side a couple times. And then keeping your body that tall, just roll your arms slowly down to your sides. We'll start to make our way down onto our back. And once you get there, just hug your knees into your chest. Another gentle gesture. You're asking permission of your hips to release. And you can stay here just exploring movement, or for today, maybe happy baby, bringing the feet wide, the knees wide, pulling down. Let your whole spine lengthen out on the floor, tailbone to crown. Breathe in, sigh out. As your knees come together, we'll place the left foot on the floor and we're going to cross the right leg over. So the deeper sensation will happen with the knees crossed tightly. A figure four will make a little less sensation here. Let's open our arms out into a T and drop the knees to the left for a twist. You can turn your head to the right. This final posture just helping us the unraveling. And picture in your mind that knot in a rope or a chain or jewelry, and picture softening and slackening as a way to release the knot instead of pulling on the ends. Can you find softness in the middle here? One more full in and out breath. And a slow return to center. Uncrossing the legs, just feeling your sacrum on the floor, lower back. And then we'll just cross the left over the right, either a figure four or a full cross. The knees drop to the left, the head turn to the right, the head turns to the left. Shoulders on the floor. And maybe here, eyes closed, face soft. When you feel ready, unfold from this position and begin to unravel into Shavasana. Like threads, one by one, loosening. A limb extends, and another, until the knot is finally free. And what we have here is a body loose and relaxed, softened, free to just rest and breathe. Allow your mind to continue to observe breath, to be aware of the body that's laying here resting. Give the mind permission to take a break. As you continue resting, I invite you to very slowly bring one hand to your belly. Allow that hand to feel breath softly moving in your body. And then the other hand can come to your heart, this connection to self. As you breathe and feel your body, I'm going to leave you today with the knot prayer. Dear God, please untie the knots that are in my mind, my heart, and my life. Remove the have-nots, the can-nots, and the do-nots that I have in my mind. Erase the will-nots, may-nots, and might-nots that find a home in my heart. Release me from the could-nots, would-nots, and should-nots that obstruct my life. Most of all, dear God, I ask that you remove from my mind, my heart, and my life all of the am-nots that I have allowed to hold me back, especially the thought that I am not good enough. Amen. My friends, begin your journey from rest back to a seat. Take time to do this in any way that feels just right for you. Join me in this gesture of gratitude. Please untie the knots that are in my mind, my heart, and my life. Whether you have discovered K-N-O-T-S or N-O-T-S, I hope that this practice has helped you leave with a little less tension, a little more space, a little maybe even unraveled. I wish you all a beautiful day. Namaste.